we shall discuss the next pattern. There is a client dispatcher pattern, and we have done the program in our lab. Client dispatcher pattern. How the client dispatcher pattern is going to work? What is this client dispatcher, and how to implement the client dispatcher pattern? So the client dispatcher pattern, it is a dispatcher is a one particular layer which is between a client and a server component. So what this dispatcher component is going to provide us, it identifies the name of the service, and it is going to forward all the service that is being requested by the servers. But whatever the implementation details are there, or other details are there, all the other details will be hidden in the dispatcher component. So first, before providing any service to the client, so whatever the client is requesting, it has to maintain a transparency. So to provide a location transparency and to identify the name of the service, uh, first the server has to be identified. So there are various different servers. All these different servers are going to provide a different services. Each and every services has to be identified. So to identify these services, or to get these services, the server has to be registered with the dispatcher, along with the name of the server and the IP address or the location of the server. So here is an example. In this example, we have a software system called as Achilles, where it is being considered for retrieval of scientific information. So here, what happens? The information providers may be either they may be local, or the information providers may be are distributed over the world. So here, what happens? Whenever an individual information provider specifies the location and what type of services has to be provided, so what happens here, the information provider will gather all the requests from the client's application. So once the client provides all the application, so the local service providers or the distributed service provider will run the service and return back the request information in a form of a result to the client. So here is a diagram which shows how the client dispatcher is going to work. So here the client is using the system, and the dispatcher is being identified as a telephony service. Okay, and we have some systems which has been identified as a server. What the client will do, the client will request for a service. So whatever the service that is being requested, that will reach the dispatcher. So once the dispatcher requests the information from the client, so what the dispatcher will do, the dispatcher has to identify the different services that will be provided by the server. So what the server will do, the server will gets registered itself to the dispatcher. So what type of services will be provided? So here we have a context. So the context for client dispatcher system is, we have a software integrated system which is being set as a distributed servers, where the server may be located either as a local server, or it can be distributed all through the world. So to get those services, so what are the different set of problems are there? So those problems has to be identified when we are trying to request the service. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to identify what are the different components are there. So how the services, independent services can be provided. So what is the location of the server? So what type of service that particular server is going to provide. So for that, what we need to do, we need to have a core functionality of the services that has to be implemented. So all the service which the client is requesting, so those services should be implemented in a server which should separate the code from the connection establishment. That means one the connection establishment is different, the core functionality or the services that are provided by the servers are different, different. That has to be identified. So next we have to provide a solution. So how do we provide a solution? The solution can be provided through the dispatcher component. So now whatever the requests are there, so one side the request has to be handled and the other side the services has to be handled. The location has to be handled. So for that we are having the intermediate layer that component we are calling it as a dispatcher. So this the dispatcher component implements the name services which allows the clients to refer to the server by names. So instead of physical location, so if I say the location 120 7.55.55.11, if I'm saying the IP address, are you able to identify where the location is? If I'm just saying the IP address, are you able to identify? So unmute and speak. We have a college website, right? bmsit.in. So instead of bmsit.in, if I'm going to tell you the IP address, are you able to recognize what it is?
No, ma'am.
No. Why? What's the reason? What's the
Because
reason?
it is
So, what?
difficult to remember, ma'am.
So it is very difficult. So you will be not able to identify. It can be any websites or any addresses, right? So with the address, we will be not able to have an access. We will be not able to remember the IP address or grasp the address of the location since it has been taken in a, it identifies the subnet, everything, right? So we will be not able to identify that. Instead of that, what we need to have, we need to have a name of a server. So if you are saying, if you are identifying with the same name of the server, say for example, if I tell you BMS IT server, so it is very easy for any client to remember and what type of service it is going to provide. So instead of vtu.ac.in, if you are having any other uh, number, if it is written, if they instead of name, if they are giving the address, is it possible? No, right? So that is the thing that happens with the client dispatcher. So it provides the names of the dispatcher, has a physical location address of the server, but what it will do, it will provide only the names of the server, which server are going to provide what type of services. So once the server names is being displayed to the client, so what happens, the when the client requests, so what happens, the dispatcher will creates a communication channel between that between the client and that particular server. So what happens once the connection is established, so what happens, whatever the services that the client is requesting, that request will be taken care, and the and it involves traditional client server computing, and the client will play the role of a client and the server is going to change dynamically. So that is how the solution can be considered for a context. So now we need to define a structure of the client dispatcher. So what are the components that we have? We have a three components. One is a client, one is a server, and one is a dispatcher. So for the client class, we have a we have a dispatcher and the server as a collaborator. Next, we have a responsibility. What are the responsibility of the client? So the client will implement a particular task. The client will request for the server connection from the dispatcher. So once the connection is established from the dispatcher, it invokes whatever the services are there. All the services will be invoked by the service providers. So next we have a server. So for the server, we have a client and a dispatcher as a collaborators. So the responsibility of the server is it is going to provide service to the client. It is going to register itself with the dispatcher. So the dispatcher is a component which maintains all the details of the server and what type of services that it is going to provide. So the dispatcher will not request for servers to register, but instead, so if the server is made, so the server by itself, it will go to the dispatcher and it will ask for the registration. So once the server is registered by the name and address, so then the services will be accepted, can be accepted by the clients. So next we have a dispatcher component. So for the dispatcher component, we have a client and a server. So the responsibility of the dispatcher is to establish to establish the communication channel between a client and a server. It has to locate the server. It can unregister the server. So why the unregistration of server is specified? So there can be a technical reasons. So where some of the servers will be, further may not provide any services which has been already considered. So those servers can be considered as a legacy systems. So since they may be considered as a legacy systems or a servers, and services may be older, what happens? So the servers can unregister itself and maintains a map of server location. So what happens? It will recognize where the servers are located. So next we have a dynamics. So in a dynamics, we can identify how the objects are going to be interacted. So the first thing is to identify the communication or to identify the services provided by the client. What the server will do, the server will go and get registered with the dispatcher component. So now the client will ask the dispatcher for a communication channel to a specified server. So after requesting for a communication channel, so the dispatcher looks up the server which is located with the specified name specified by the client in its registry. So say for example, I want a service from a particular website. Say for example, it can be a video website. Okay, so we have a video website, BMS IT services. We have a some other services. Okay, so I'm requesting for a particular web page. Okay, now what happens, since the BMS IT server and the video server are identified and it has been registered, so if I'm requesting for a video website, so what happens, the dispatcher will identify the name of the server. So it will look and it will search for the name. So if that particular name is there, so what happens, it will forward that request. So that forwarding request, so what happens, that there are duration period. what happens? It is trying to link the communication between the client and that particular server. So what happens once the link is being established? So what happens? It displays that particular web page. So next, say for example, if you are trying to, if the dispatcher establishes is unable to initiate the connection, then it has to return an error. So say for example, when you are searching for information, it will show you different links, right? So what happens? Sometimes you are clicking, you are selecting, you are clicking on a particular link. So when you have clicked on the certain link, so what happens? It will take some few seconds. So after few seconds, it will tell you that it will say error in a login or error page. So how it will? What is the reason? Have you observed that when you are looking for a certain information, so it will display, the Google search will display so many links, right? So have you come across that? When you have clicked on a certain web page, so it will say that the page does not exist or error in page. Some messages you will get. Have you observed anyone? Unmute and speak.
Yes, ma'am.
So what could be the reason? So the link is there, but now when you are trying to access it is not there because that particular server may be unregistered. So due to the unregistration, so the links will be there, but the server may not provide you the service. So when you click on that particular link, so what happens? It will show you that the service cannot be provided. So this is a diagram. Okay. So the client, dispatcher component and the server component. So the client will ask for a particular request. It will ask the dispatcher to connect the channel. So before connecting to the channel, what is the first task? The server has to get registered. So to provide the services, the server will communicate with the dispatcher to get registration of the services. So next, what happens when you see the dispatcher will locate the server. So after locating the server, it will try to establish a connection. It will try to establish the connection. So it will send a message to the server. So what the server will do? The server will accept the connection and it will return back the message. So it will post process. So here what happens? It will look which client is requesting for the particular service. It will identify the client and it will return back the request to the client. The channel will be returned back to the client. So what happens? It will make a post processing. So once the client requests that, so it will the server will receive the request. Once the server gets the request from the client, so now in between the client and the server, there will be no dispatcher because it will help to identify the server. So once the once the connection is being established, now the client can directly communicate or have an access to the request. So the server will receive the request. So once the server gets the request, so it will run the service. So after completing the service, it will return back the message to the client. So after that, the client will start its processing. So this is how the dynamics of client dispatcher. So next we have a implementation. So in implementation, what we need to do, we know that we have three different components. So we need to implement all the three different components. So how do we do that? So the first step is separate the application into the servers and the client. So we need to identify which application is the server, which applications are the client. So first we need, that is the first step. So how do we do that? So first we need to define all the components, what type of functionalities are there. So that has to be implemented as a server. Next we need to identify the client and how the client can have an access to that particular server. So what are the different predefined functionalities are there, partitioning are there, all the servers, different applications has to be identified. So after doing that, we need to identify the client and the server which may be determined. So next we need to decide which communication facilities are required. So to have a communication between a client and a server, we need to have the facilities, right? So without having any facility, without having any communication facilities, the client and server cannot communicate. So for that, what we need to do, we need to select the communication facility for the interaction between a client, server and the dispatcher. So what we need to do, we need to create a different communication mechanism, or we can use the same communication mechanism between all the communication uh, uh, for providing a communication facilities. So here, um, we have a three components: the client, server, and the dispatcher. So what the client and server, we all the three components are connected to each other. So the communication for client and the server. So we are taking that protocol. We are naming that protocol as a CS protocol. So the communication between a client and a dispatcher, we are using it as a client and a CD protocol. So the communication between a server and a dispatcher, we are calling it as a DS protocol. So this is how we are trying to identify the different interaction components among protocols among the components. So here, why do we need this set of protocols? So these set of protocols specifies the ordered sequence for for performing some of the activities. So it will be taken as an initialization, maintaining the communication channel. So message exchange between the components. So these are the sequence of activities that are going to happen in a client in a system. So the client, dispatcher, and the server pattern implements three different protocols. So CS protocol, DS protocol, and CD protocol. So when we are considering the DS protocol, so that is a protocol that is being defined between a server and a dispatcher. So what this protocol is going to address? So it addresses two topics. So one, it identifies the registration of the server with the dispatcher, and the communication channel establishment for the server. So next we have a CD protocol. So in CD protocol, we need to define the interaction, how it is going to happen between a client and a dispatcher. So here what happens, that the dispatcher will help for the connection establishment from the client and a particular server. So if the communication falls due to the network or a server problem, the dispatcher informs the client about the failure. That means if the server is not able to provide the service, so it should inform the client what's the reason that it is not able to connect to the server. Say for example, you are trying to request for a particular web page. So it will take some amount of time, and after some amount of time, it will tell you that session expired or a timeout or something. What's the reason? What's the reason? Ginger? Ginger saying, what's the reason? Why it is going to consider like that? Because there is a failure in the server. If the server is not able to provide that service, or if there is a poor connectivity, there are some various reasons why the server is not able to provide the service. In that case, if the dispatcher is not able to locate the server itself, then it is a communication failure, and that failure has to be informed to a particular client. So next we have a CS protocol. So in this CS protocol, it will specify how the client and the server are going to communicate or talk to each other. So that has some of the steps. So here what happens between a client and a server, the client sends a message to the server using the communication channel. So since channel has been already established between a client and a server, so it will send a message. So to make this work, so what the client and server needs, so they need to follow the same syntax and semantics of a message they send and receive. So we have a message format. So in that particular message format itself, it has to be communicated. So once the server receives the message, so what it has to do, it has to identify what type of service that the client is requesting. So once the service has been identified and the service is completed, the server has to return back the message to the client. And the third point is the client has to extract the service result from the message and continues with its task. And later, once the result is obtained from the server, the further whatever the task that is being defined, so those tasks can be continued by on the client side. Next thing is we need to decide how to name the servers. Yes, can anyone tell me about the namings, server namings? You have studied in CN, right? How do you name the servers? How do you name the server? What are the things that may be necessary for naming the server? So it includes a 4-byte internet IP address scheme. Okay, now it may not be applicable. So for when we are trying to use a IP address, so that IP address would depend on the location of the server. So to identify the location of the server, you need to introduce with the name. So as I said, you cannot take it as a 127.256 256.157.55.11. So that cannot be taken. So what you need to do, you need to name it in by using the strings. So if you want to have an access to the server, so it should be specified as a server X or ID server along with the IP address. The server name can be specified with the constants. Next is we need to design and implement the dispatcher. So to design and implement the dispatcher, first we need we have identified that we need to design a protocol. So once the protocol has been designed, what we need to do, we need to identify what are the different communication facilities that are available. So for example, if the dispatcher is located within the address space of the client, so it can be considered as a local, and using the local procedure call, the CD protocol can be used. So if it is not within the local procedure calls, then what we need to do, we need to use the facilities as a ports, socket, shared memory. So like this, we need to determine, or we need to utilize all the other facilities. So next thing is, we need to identify what are the detailed structures. So how the request should be there, how the responses should be sent from the server. So when the error messages has to be raised, so that depends upon the communication mechanism and the identification scheme that the we are trying to use with the server. So the dispatcher should include a repository. So what is this repository? It is nothing but a database where the dispatcher is maintaining the names of the server along with the physical location. So the underlying mechanism to use for a client server communication. Next, we need to implement the client server components according to the desired solutions and decisions that we can make with respect to the dispatcher interface. That means what, we need to identify how the servers are implemented, how the clients are being implemented. So we need to make a decision for the system, is that how the dispatcher interface should be there. So how the dispatcher should register the server, and how it can be unregistered by how the server has to be unregistered. So what type of interfaces that the dispatcher is going to use, that has to be decided. So next we have some variants. So the variants, just a second. So the first variant is distributed dispatcher. So how this distributed dispatcher can be used? So in what way it is different from a normal dispatcher? So the distributed dispatcher, instead of using a single dispatcher, so what happens? The dispatchers will be considered as a distributed. So as we have a distributed server, similarly we can use a distributed dispatcher. So what happens with this variant? So when we are using, when the dispatcher receives a client request for a server or a remote machine, so what happens? It establishes a connection with the dispatcher on the targeted node. So the remote dispatcher will initiate the connection with the requested server and sends the communication channel back to the first dispatcher. So once the channel is returned to the client, so it can be another possibility that it allows the client to communicate directly with the dispatcher on a remote machine. So that is the help of a distributed dispatcher. And the next variant that we are having is client dispatcher server with communication managed by the client. So in this variant, instead of establishing a communication channel between a client and a server, the dispatcher will return a physical server location to the client. So it will see where the server is located. So it is the responsibility of the client to manage all the communication activities with the server. That means in the step, the after returning the name of the server and the location of the server, the client has to connect to the server, and whatever the services that the client want to get performed. So all these performances, everything will be taken care, should be taken care by the client. So next variant we are having is a client dispatcher server with heterogeneous communication. So with this client dispatcher server with heterogeneous communication, what happens? We need to implement the communication between a client and a server using only one communication mechanism. You cannot use a different communication mechanism, different protocols with when we are trying to establish a communication between a client and a server. So some servers may use a socket, while the other may use it as a pipes. So this leads to the variant of the client dispatcher pattern, in which the dispatcher is capable of supporting more than one communication mechanism. So in this variant, we need to identify each and every server register itself with the dispatcher and specifies the communication mechanism it supports. So if so when it is using a different mechanism, different servers are using a different mechanism, the server itself will tell the dispatcher while registering that what type of mechanism it is going to support. So the client has to use that particular mechanism to establish a communication channel between a client and a server. So here what happens, the dispatcher will establish a communication using the specified communication facility by the server. So what happens, the dispatcher will identify what type of communication is there, then it will establish the channel. So next we have a client dispatcher service. So in this client dispatcher service, we have a client address services and not the servers. So in this variant, the client address are maintained. That is, when the dispatcher receives a request, it looks up which server provide the specified service in its repository. And what happens? It establishes a connection to one of those service providers. If it fails the connection, it may try to access another server instead of one. That means the same services may be implemented in a different servers. So if one server is not able to provide the service due to any failures mechanism, so in that case we need to identify those services. Next, the known uses are RPC mechanism, that is a remote procedure call where we can use this client dispatcher services. So here what happens? The service will be located in some other service, some other server. So to have that service mechanism, we need to use this the client dispatcher pattern. So which uses or which implements a remote procedure call. So by using this remote procedure call, So whatever the services that are there, so all these services can be taken. So next we have a use of OMG Corba, which uses a client dispatcher pattern. So it is similar to the architectural pattern of a broker pattern. That's in a broker pattern is not there as a part of a syllabus, but here what we have, we can identify um, to identify the servers. So the broker is an intermediary between a client and client and the server. So in a similar way, we are going to use this client dispatcher system. So we have next we have some benefits. The benefits are exchangeability of the server. So if one of the server is not able to provide the service, then immediately the server can get unregistered, and the new it can implement it. The server can have a new implementations if it is available, then again it can register itself with a new implementation. So that is the exchangeability of the server. So next, location and migration transparency. The clients do not know where the actual servers are located. So in this consequences, so if there is a migration of the if there are any migration in a server, so that can be dynamically implement, that can be identified when the servers are migrated while the client is being connected. So next is reconfiguration. So when we say a reconfiguration, the it will identify the network node, so how the server should provide the service during the runtime also. So it prepares a system software for conversion to a distributed system. And the last benefit is fault tolerance. So if there are any failure in a current servers, the new servers can be activated without having any disturbance in a communication. So next we have a liabilities. So for a liabilities, the first one is lower efficiency through indirection and explicit establishment. That means we are using the three components. So it can be a overhead introduced by the dispatcher. So locating, registering services, too many task that has been involved with the dispatcher. So what happens due to this too many tasks that will be carried out by the dispatcher, like registering, unregistering, locating the server, locating the identifying the services, then redirecting. So everything can include it. Everything can be considered as a these things can be considered as lowering the efficiency or the performance of the server. So next is the sensitivity to change in the interface of the dispatcher component. So here what happens, whatever the dispatcher plays as a central role, so whatever minor changes are there, so that minor changes within a software system may lead to the change in the interfaces among the system. So these are the liabilities of a client dispatcher. Any doubts? Do you have any doubts? Any doubts you are having? Asta? Asta?
Yes, ma'am.
Abhinav?
Present, ma'am.
Aishwarya?
Present, ma'am.
Ambarish?
Yes, ma'am.
Anu?
Present,
Anu?
ma'am.
Arbaz?
Present, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Arjun?
Present, ma'am.
Ashok?
Present, ma'am.
Benita?
Present, ma'am.
Bhargavi?
Yes, ma'am.
Pravisha?
Present, ma'am.
Chaitra?
Present, ma'am.
Devmalya?
Present, ma'am.
Diksha?
Present, ma'am.
Deepika? Deepika?
Present, ma'am.
Murli Krishna?
Present, ma'am.
Gangubai?
Present, ma'am.
Guriya Kumari?
Present, ma'am.
Harshit?
Present, ma'am.
Ginger?
Present, ma'am.
Why were you absent, Ginger? For last 6 class?
I had fever, ma'am.
Okay. Kavya?
Present, ma'am.
Kishore? Lata? Manisha?
Present, ma'am.
Manjunath?
Yes, ma'am.
Nayana? Neelanjan? Nishant?
Present, ma'am.
Pavitra? Maithili?
Present, ma'am.
Priyanka?
Present, ma'am.
Pavan?
Present, ma'am.
Akash?
Present, ma'am.
Rajeshwari?
Present, ma'am.
Rakesh?
Present, ma'am.
Ramya?
Present, ma'am.
Rashmi?
Present, ma'am.
Ravi Shankar?
Yes, ma'am.
Rizwan? Vishal?
Present, ma'am.
Savita? Savita? Shruti?
Present, ma'am.
Sneha?
Yes, ma'am.
Spurti?
Present, ma'am.
Srinidhi?
Present, ma'am.
Srinidhi?
Present, ma'am.
Srinivas?
Hello.
Yes?
Trinity, present, ma'am.
Yeah, I have marked Srinidhi. Srinivasa?
Present, ma'am.
Sunil? Vaishnavi?
Present, ma'am.
Vinny?
Present,
Okay.
ma'am. Pavitra, present, ma'am.
Pavitra, just wait.
Ma'am,
I'm checking.
Deepika LG present, ma'am.
Pavitra present, okay. I have marked Pavitra. No.
Deepika
LG.
Rizwan present.
Deepika, I have marked. While leaving, I saw
Ma'am.
you.
Ma'am,
What?
Rizwan present,
Rizwan?
ma'am.
Wait.
Rizwan present.
Rizwan. Yes, I have marked. Present.
Okay, ma'am.
Students, class has ended. Previous class has been completed.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I stop the recording?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Okay.